what world leaders felt about Biden's performance at the NATO summit. Amid apprehensions over the US president's age and capacity to serve another term, Western leaders have united behind Joe Biden during the NATO summit. There is a growing chorus calling for Mr. Biden to withdraw from the presidential campaign in November, and he made two very bad mistakes when attempting to allay concerns about running for re-election at the summit. Mr. Biden was described as in charge and clear on the issues he knows well by French President Emmanuel Macron, and as on good form by UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. However, the Russian media mocked Mr. Biden for his first faux pas, which involved referring to Volodymyr Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, as President Putin. Later, during a news conference, Mr. Biden's first unplanned public appearance since the debate, he addressed Kamala Harris as his Vice President Trump. Since his appalling performance in a debate 2 weeks ago against Donald Trump, the Republican opponent in the approaching elections, the US president has been under pressure to resign. However, other NATO leaders have stood up for him and his leadership abilities throughout the summit. Speaking following the White House dinner on Thursday, Mr. Macron said he had a lengthy conversation with Mr. Biden throughout the lunch and pleaded for forgiveness for his shortcomings. "I saw him as always a president who is in charge, clear on the issues he knows well," he stated. "Everyone has occasionally made a linguistic error. As it has occurred to me in the past and is likely to happen again tomorrow, I would ask you to show the same leniency that should be shown between caring people." Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor of Germany, also acknowledged the errors. "You will find enough of them if you constantly watch everyone," he replied. "Slips of the tongue happen." Throughout the conference, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir stated on several occasions that the US president was across all the detail and had much to be proud of. He continued on Friday, saying, "After 2 days of this council, we have a really positive conclusion, and I believe that he deserves recognition for that." Working with Mr. Biden is a privilege and a joy, according to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Biden's depth of experience, his thoughtfulness, his steadfastness on the greatest issues and challenges of our time is a credit to the work that we're all doing together, CBC reported that he added. AFP cited Polish President Andrzej Duda as saying, "I talked with President Biden, and there is no doubt that everything is okay." Duda is known for being friendly to former President Trump. Alexander Stubb, the president of Finland, concurrently coupled concerns about the US election climate with a defense of Mr. Biden. "I have absolutely no concern about the capacity of the current president of the United States to lead his country and to lead our fight for Ukraine and to lead NATO," he was quoted as saying by AFP. "The only thing I'm worried about is that the political climate in the United States right now is too toxic, is very polarized, and that doesn't leave enough room for a civilized and constructive debate." However, not every NATO leader was willing to voice their support for Mr. Biden. According to reports, Viktor Orbán, the Prime Minister of Hungary, spoke with the Washington media hardly at all. Rather, he headed straight to Mr. Trump's Florida estate, Mar-a-Lago, following the summit, where the two men discussed the conflict in Ukraine. "We talked about how to reconcile," Mr. Orbán posted on social media. "The good news of the day, he's going to solve it." However, just as Allied leaders have refrained from calling out the US president for his shortcomings, Moscow has also shown a comparable lack of restraint. Dmitry Peskov, a spokesman for the Kremlin, stated that the errors were not our business, an internal matter for the USA, and that they were obviously language errors. Unlike the Russian media, who have been hyping up Mr. Biden's mistaken identity of Mr. Putin as Mr. Zelensky. The headline of Rossiya TV's 9 p.m. bulletin read, "America's vassals pretended that they'd not noticed anything." NTV reported that Biden's latest slip of the tongue is worthy of an Oscar, and that he had never come this close to a disaster. Additionally, a story titled Senile Leaders in the widely read daily Moskovsky Komsomolets compared Joe Biden to the senior communist leaders of the USSR. What's more dangerous, a monkey with a grenade or a shaking hand on the nuclear button? It inquired.